All right, everybody. Matt M. Roy back once again. Back to you from my old stomping grounds, Carmel, New York, where I grew up. I told you guys I'd get some footage of the old town. And what better to start with than visiting the statue of Sybil Ludington? I'll go ahead and read this for you guys. Sybil Ludington rode horseback over this road the night of April 26, 1777, to call out Colonial Ludington's regiment to repel the British at Danbury, Connecticut. State Education Department, 1935. Now, when I went to school here, this was part of the 7th or 8th grade. I think it was the 7th grade history. And we learned all about what she did. So kind of like a Paul Revere, really. But this is their local hero, Sybil Ludington. If I walk down here, you guys can see her statue. Right there, she's got the stick in one hand, running or riding horseback. Now, years ago, when I lived here, they had an issue with this because this is actually made out of copper, and the mouth had actually started to foam, or it looked like it was foaming because the copper was turning, basically oxidizing.
Yeah.
So it looks like they have since fixed that problem. And you can read right there, Sybil Ludington, April 26, 1777, called out the volunteer militia by riding through the night along on horseback at the age of 16, alerting the countryside to the burning of Danbury, Connecticut by the British, placed by Enoch Crosby, chapter DAR, presented at Anna Hyatt Ludington, 1961. So this is actually way back from 1961. I'm actually surprised it isn't older than that. Do you remember anything else about Sybil Ludington?
No, not really.
I mean, that's pretty much what she did. Now, this is Lake Glen Ida over here. Basically, they have all the flags up for Memorial Day. You can see that they're mowing the grass. They have festivities here during Memorial Day. They have fireworks. During that time, you'll see pretty much people sitting all around here with fold-out chairs. And then the fireworks are usually set off in the distance behind the other side of the lake. See what it says here. Your flag, row of honor, Putnam County, New York. And of course, we chose time to come when they're doing the grass, but that's okay. Now, a lot of people in this area will leave their boats here because you can actually fish here. And you see the boat?
It's kind of like a reservoir, though. You can't use motorboats.
Only paddle boats.
Rowboats.
And you can see a lot of people, paddle boats, rowboats, john boats, basically anything that does not have a motor. And you see a lot of people just leave their boats here.
Oh, look at all the rugs.
Yep, this is how they actually get down to the water, which is actually pretty clean, believe it or not. Let's see what it says. New York City Department Boat Area 3 and recreation by permit, because you actually have to have a permit to do any kind of fishing here in the reservoirs.
It could have been a water supply, so it probably is a reservoir. We have
That's
many
true.
reservoirs in this area that feed New York City, the water to New York City. It's a whole reservoir system. This county has a lot of land that's owned by New York City, or that supplies the water.
That's right. So basically, what you're seeing here actually supplies New York City with pretty much all their water. It comes all the way down from the Adirondacks, which would be out that way, probably a few hundred miles. It goes through all these different reservoir systems, goes down here, and then all the way down to New York City, and that's pretty much where the water ends up.
Where we came up from Mayapack, remember, there's a big pump house there.
Yes,
yeah, there's a
exactly.
Big pump house. So it's amazing how they did this whole aqueduct system to this city years and years ago.
And if you've ever seen Die Hard with a Vengeance with Bruce Willis, that was when they were actually making the aqueduct system back in the 90s, the new one, and they were actually driving through it for some scenes in that movie because it hadn't actually been used yet.
Oh, I didn't realize.
But now I think it did. I think they started using it like in the early 2000s. We'll take a walk around a little bit. That's the Catholic school over there. Catholic church is next to that. And then there's also a thrift store, which I'm hoping is open today. Might go ahead and check that out in a little bit. But we'll walk down here for you guys. Again, I lived here for basically the first 15 years of my life. We lived in Kent, New York, but Kent is such a small area or small town. They did not have their own post office, so our address was the next town over, which is this, Carmel. So we actually had a Carmel address, believe it or not. You can see the Catholic church there in the distance. And the parsonage, I believe, is that house right there. And then the school is right there. And we used to go to craft fairs there all the time. The St. James the Apostle School. Another boat. It amazes me that people can leave their boats here and they don't get stolen. But they don't. People have done it for years. They never steal the boats. Very, very lucky. I guess they're all on the honor system, if you will. Really, really pretty here. They keep it up all right. I remember years ago, though, they did a better job at clearing away the brush. There's another boat. Wow, this one looks like this hasn't been used in a long time. I doubt she's seaworthy. Look at all the paint chipping right there.
That's a wood one.
Yeah, that boat is definitely not... Yeah, that boat hasn't seen use in many, many, many years.
Everything overgrew around it.
But yeah, I mean, it is just gorgeous out today. It's a little on the warm side. I probably shouldn't have wore jeans, but you know what? It works.
It's not humid.
You get two more boats right there.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And then we got more flags. Go back and look at the flags real quick. Pretty much all American flags, and I think they each symbolize a fallen veteran, basically. Again, Memorial Day is all about our men in the service, men and women, I should say. But unbelievable. Well, my feet are actually getting wet. All right, tubers, let's see if we can get you a better shot of the lake here. I think it opens up just a little bit. It's not a huge lake, but it's definitely big enough for the purpose, and it's really nice to have because, believe it or not, even this little amount of water cools the town off, especially on the hot summer days. Give you guys kind of a pan shot. In the distance there, that'd be Mayapack. That's actually where I'm staying right now. And then as we pan down more this way, that would be Kent. That was basically where we used to live, was behind, way behind there, maybe about 5 or 10 miles. And as you head over this way, Brewster would be in that direction. And then down that way, which I believe is north, that's when you start heading towards Fishkill and Peekskill and all those areas. So, unbelievable. I've missed being in this area, to be honest with you. You know, it's always nice to revisit your childhood home, see what's changed, see what's remained the same over the years. Can't get over all the flags. You can hear the birds chirping in the distance. Definitely have some hills here. I'm going to turn you guys around for a minute while I try to cross, which is not easy here. There's a lot of traffic here on Route 6. Got to kind of wait till the light turns and I might be able to actually cross the street. I got some cars stopped. Now, still a bunch of cars coming this way. They're about to let us cross. Okay, thank you. They are very nice in this town, I'll give you that. So let me give you guys a better shot of the Catholic Church here. I don't want to do too much because they actually have service today. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the stonework and the stained glass. It's actually a funeral, I think, today. St. James the Apostle, Roman Catholic Church, dedicated 1964. Mom's going to check in with Dad real quick. Who's actually sitting in the car? See who's that? Greetings over there, sir. Hope you are doing well, at least decent. You're such a good channel. Keep up the good work. And that's the Genius of Battle. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to try to get as much footage in this area as I can. But we're here for a wedding, so, I kind of got to balance that out. But I am actually going to go ahead and end this live stream. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing a little bit of my hometown. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always,